It is 9 o'clock, and because of the West Oakland fire and the ongoing traffic situation, we are expanding Mornings on 2 to 9:30 this morning. A 120-unit housing complex under construction burned to the ground overnight. It was supposed to house low-income seniors eventually. Not only has the fire destroyed the building, it's turned the morning commute across the bay into a mess because it impacted the West Oakland BART station. Many people are trying to drive into the city, but traffic is backed up in all directions heading to the Bay Bridge toll plaza, and the other bridges also getting into San Francisco are very slow. And as we've seen, taking a bus means waiting hours. Claudine Wong's counted about 600-700 people waiting in line.
Yeah. It's not letting up either. Instead of riding BART to work, a lot of people are hoping they can hop on a ferry boat to get to where they need to go, but that's a nightmare as well. KTVU's Kara Lou is at Jack London Square Ferry Terminal. So, Kara, how is it now?
Well, thousands of people taking the ferry for the first time because of the commute issues. I want to show you this ferry right here. I'm told by San Francisco Bay Ferry, this one carries 650 people. They are in the process of boarding it right now, and it should be leaving here shortly. The one right behind it, I don't know if you could see it, I'm told that one carries 149 people, so there are a number of different ferry boats here. San Francisco Bay Ferry says they've added quite a bit of service to just try to accommodate all the additional passengers they are expecting. And take a look at this line here. We have hundreds of people in line. Every time we see a bunch of people get on one of these boats, the line still continues to grow. And if you take a look around the building, the line's been wrapping around the building for the entire morning that we have been here. Now, San Francisco Bay Ferry does say that they have added boats, they have added staff members. They are prepared to try to accommodate the volume that will be necessary to get folks to and from work today. They also know that their website has crashed this morning because so many people were online trying to get information. They say they are working feverishly on that and planning to get it up and running just as soon as possible, in particular in time for the commute home, so folks can know the schedules and make plans around that. And some of these folks here, folks, going to ask you, how long have you been in line?
Just 5 minutes. Just got here.
Not too bad. How's your commute been?
Not too bad, although the freeways are a total mess, but, you know, it's mayhem. Yeah.
And I can tell you from listening to Claudine, with the buses being such a mess, the ferry's been probably quite a bit more organized. Folks really have been in great spirits, but again, we will keep you posted on everything and all the new developments just as soon as we get them for live. For now, we are live in Oakland. Kara Lou, KTVU, Channel 2 News.
All right, thank you, Kara. And that's the advantage, is that once you get on the ferry, you can then make a clean shot across the bay. But that is obviously not the situation if you're trying to get on a bus to avoid the crowded roads, getting in and around across the bay from the ferry to the buses. Some people have waited in line for 2 hours hoping to board a shuttle or AC transit bus to get to work. And that, unfortunately, you still have to wait in line. And if you're lucky to get on a bus, then you've got this huge wait to get across the bridge. KTV's Claudine Wong is live again at 19th Street BART Station. And Claudine, I'm amazed that people have been waiting 2 hours and still are waiting.
Yes, they're trying to be patient. They're hopeful that, you know, they'll get on one of these buses. But as you said, once they get on the bus, they have the added problem of the traffic that is a mess on the freeways. The front of the line is way down there. They've been waiting patiently for a bus, not sure when one is coming. That's the big problem, is that there's no predictability. There's no kind of schedule at this point. AC Transit will only say they're doing the best they can. Now we've got a fire truck coming down the road. Just going past us, so it's a little hard to hear. They're trying to get through this intersection and pass us through, and then we should be able to be heard again. But you're taking a look right now at the long line that stretches all the way down this block. And everyone's going, well, where's the end of the line? The end of the line is not down at the next block and not down at the block beyond that, but around the corner. So we're talking 3 or 4 city blocks of just continuous people standing here waiting in line, trying to be patient, trying to get onto a bus. Can I ask you guys how long you've been waiting?
2 hours.
2 hours here. And people at home are asking, why are you still in line? Why haven't you given it up? Call it a day, go on home.
Because I have to be at work today.
You have to get to work.
Yeah.
You have to get to work. You want any thoughts about quitting this whole line thing and just going home?
Well, the company I work for, I'm only an intern, so I can't I can't be taking time off like that.
You can't take the time off. What do you think about this? I mean, certainly people are frustrated. You guys, you're still smiling.
Well, I've been waiting at least an hour and a half, and I'm near the front of the line. I have about 4 or 5 times considered leaving and going home, but I'm near the front of the line.
Okay, so what if I tell you this, that out of the 7 or 8 buses, some have only gotten 4 people on, some have gotten 10 people on, and now there's an accident on Treasure Island?
Then I'll probably I'll probably go home and then try later to take a ferry.
Yeah, the ferries seem to be maybe a little bit better, but they're still quite busy over there. Yeah. Good luck. You are closer to the front than all those folks back there. Again, I walked to the very end, down 3 or 4 city blocks, around a corner, people back there just wondering how long it's going to take, and I think that's the biggest issue here is the unpredictability of it. Unpredictability. When you go down and you wait and you're saying, okay, now I'm at this corner, the big question is how long is it going to take to get to the next corner? When is the next bus going to arrive? When is this going to get better? And there really are no clear answers for anyone. We do have 2 supervisors out here, but again, they're all saying as well, everyone is just doing the best they can. Live here in Oakland, Claudine Wong, KTVU, Channel 2 News.
Hey, Claudine, before you go, I'm just curious, are there any signs of cab drivers showing up or limo drivers showing up trying to, I mean, people have been out there 2 hours. You would think, someone would think they could, as an entrepreneur, they could pick up some of those people.
We haven't seen a ton of cabs, but I did talk to some people online who said earlier there were cabs coming across and saying, hey, anyone want to get in, and literally piling in a bunch of people into their cabs, charging various amounts depending on how many people they squeezed in. A couple people told us they were squeezing far too many people in their cabs. We haven't seen any of that, maybe because once they start going across, they can't get back to get, more people in any real amount of time. They also told us there was one car, oops, sorry, tripping over a curve here, only one car that came by and just said, hey, anyone going to the city, you're welcome to come with me, and one person hopped in that car. So it is happening. There are people, but most of these folks, and we're going to walk over here so that we don't get hit by this truck that's trying to take this turn a little closely. Yeah, it is getting a little crazy out here. We just got a lot of people, a lot of cars, a lot of people trying to move through here, and a lot of buses, unusual traffic for this area. But yes, we have seen some of that happening, but haven't seen any taxi cabs as of late. Everyone's just still focused on that, when that next bus is going to arrive.
And Claudine, is it my imagination that people are relatively cool? You would think some people might be losing their cool by now.
It's surprising. We have seen some instances, and I'll tell you, if people try to cut in line, that's when people start to kind of lose their minds. If people get a little bit pushy, then people start getting upset too. But, really, there hasn't been anywhere to go. It's not like there's been a ton of buses for people to fight over. There's just no buses. So I will say, people smiling. Everyone seems to be in pretty good spirits for now. But, again, you can't see the back of the line, and those folks back there getting frustrated when they're getting in here. Again, it is just the not knowing. Tell us how long it's going to take, and then we know. No one really knows, so we're just standing by and waiting.
All right, thank you, Claudine Wong. I'm amazed hearing the stories about people, why they're waiting in line so long. All right, let's go over to Kara Lou right now, who is outside Jack Lemmon Square, because the ferries are a good alternative, but there are some waits there as well also, right, Kara?
There have been quite long waits for a while this morning, but right now I can show you this line that was once wrapped all the way around this building is just tapering off right now. That is likely because the last ferry they just loaded, or they're in the process of loading, carried 650 people. San Francisco Bay Ferry says they added several boats and several crews to help accommodate the volumes that they expected here this morning. So they also wanted to mention they are working on getting their website up and running again, so folks will be able to look up schedules for their commutes home. But again, things running relatively smoothly here at the ferry, probably in sharp contrast to what we've seen at the buses this morning. We are live in Oakland. Kara Lou, KTVU, Channel 2 News.
All right, Kara. Yeah, it's rather unusual seeing 2 ferries there parked at the same terminal. So many people trying to head into the city. Again, it's a great alternative because there is an accident on the Bay Bridge. And I want to mention BART is only shut down heading across the bay between Oakland and San Francisco. That's the only place BART is shut down right now because of that overnight fire at the West Oakland BART station. station. BART is running on the East Bay and on the West Bay. So, for example, Richmond to Fremont trains are running. The Fremont to Daly City line trains from Fremont are turning at the 12th Street Oakland City Center station. Trains from Pittsburgh Bay Point are also turning at the 12th Street Oakland City Center station. Trains from Dublin and Pleasanton are turning at Bayfair. Trains on the peninsula from Millbrae, Daly City, and SFO are turning at the Embarcadero station. But obviously you can expect residual delays because they only can use the trains they have on either side of the bay because there's no train service between the bay. So it's just such a mess right now. Let's check in with Sal once again at the traffic center to find out how things are looking on the roads. And it's really interesting when you show that whole view of the Bay Area. It's so, I'm not sure if you've seen that much red ever before.
No, this is the worst commute I've seen in a very, very long time. I actually can't remember a worse commute. Now, just a few moments ago, when Kara was talking, we watched them clear the last vehicle from that crash on the upper deck of the Bay Bridge. This happened less than a minute ago here, and now we're still looking at the residual effect of all this traffic on the bridge. So once again, let me tell you, we just watched the last emergency vehicle drive off the Bay Bridge. Those lanes have reopened, but traffic on the upper deck is very, very slow. Adding to that, getting to the Bay Bridge from 580, 880, and 980, 24, all the East Bay freeways, super slow. This has had a really big effect on the morning commute. No BART service into San Francisco. And I'll tell you why. When there is a planned closure, people make plans. They get on the road early. This just obviously happened early this morning. People woke up, they heard about it, and their first instinct is to just get into the car, and that really has put a damper on the commute. Let's go to some other pictures now. I want to show you that the Bay Bridge MacArthur Maze at the end here is still not moving. Westbound 580 is also very slow. And the morning drive, we talked about the maps that Tori mentioned. Just a lot of slow traffic. As I pull it back, you can just see all the slow traffic we have all over the bay. Still a lot of red on these maps, and it's not getting any better, unfortunately. The 9/11, these are pictures just taken a few minutes earlier of this crash on the Bay Bridge. And again, we just watched them remove it, so that's at least a little bit of good news here. 9:12. Let's go back to the desk.
All right, Sal, so much to talk about. This fire has affected all that commute from the East Bay to San Francisco, and KTVU's David Stevenson is joining us now. He's at the Trans-Bay Terminal. How is it there, David?
Well, Dave, I'm standing here at Howard and Beale Street, and take a look across the street at the temporary Trans-Bay Terminal. That is the line for AC Transit buses. It's actually substantially thinned out in the last half hour, but transit operators told us they've seen triple or quadruple the number of riders that would normally use AC Transit here.
But this is going to be a one-stop only, guys. We're going to stop at
AC Transit operators shouted directions to the hundreds who lined up here this morning. The agency brought in extra buses to transport riders to Oakland's Eastmont Mall and the 20th and Broadway intersection, where they could then catch additional transit. Though for riders, it was still a very confusing process this morning.
It's been pretty hectic, man. It's been chaotic, but I don't really ride the AC Transit. I don't like it, so.
You gonna make it to work or across the East Bay?
I just got off work. I'm trying to go home, and I'm really tired, and this is not good.
Again, triple and quadruple the number of AC Transit riders here at the Trans-Bay Terminal. You can see some of them boarding AC Transit buses, again, to take them across the bridge to either the Eastmont Mall or 20th and Broadway, where they then hope to catch additional transport. AC Transit operators are informing them that they are taking Clipper cards, cash, and BART tickets as well. They're trying to make it an easier process for these folks. It seems to be moving pretty quickly, the lines here. And again, it has thinned out as we've gotten into the 9 o'clock hour, but this is going to continue to be a problem both on the East Bay and here in San Francisco as the day goes on until those tracks are repaired. Reporting live in San Francisco, David Stevenson, KTVU, Channel 2 News.
Wow, what a mess out there. And yeah, it's interesting. Thank you, David, to think of that perspective. We've been so focused on people heading into the city, but there are people who try and head out of the city.
Sure.
And they've been impacted by that as well. And of course, there was the U.S. Open going on and the Giants day game, so traffic could last for quite a while. Now, this mess all started with a huge overnight fire right next to the West Oakland BART station. Pam Cook's here with the emotional reaction from the scene. Pam?
Yeah, it was